It's the Haiku Components Formula First Championship. And on track, as you can see, they are getting ready to line up on the grid. And we've had some action already. Geordie Peters joining me, Jonathan Green, for this race. And Geordie, these guys have been in action already this weekend. We didn't see it on TV, but we were here. What's the biggest thing you've taken away from yesterday, do you think?
Well, the racing was just as close as we
as always.
Chris Simon took the win over Reece Hindelcox. Liam Foster and Amy Smith had a little bit of a coming together. Another great race.
Here's your grid then. Chris Simon in pole position. Liam Foster, who came together with Amy Smith yesterday. Reece Hindelcox and Amy Smith. There she is. She's had a few problems. We'll talk about that. Aston Addy and Cian Davey. He had a gearbox go wrong on him, but he's back out there. Ian Foster and Bree Morris starts in 8th position. Leo Scott is 9th. 10th is Matthew McCutcheon. And then Ron Carter and Liam Nicholson in 12th position. So, Geordie, you were about to say we had some fisticuffs also with Liam Foster coming together with Amy Smith.
Yeah, they came together. Liam had a bit of damage on the front of his car steering and a flat tyre. So unfortunately, he didn't collect any points, which allowed Chris Simon to jump back into 2nd place and close down narrowly the massive points deficit to the championship leader, Reece Hindelcox.
So away we go then, and Chris Simon gets off the line, so does Foster, but they're side by side, but Foster gets the advantage as we head into turn 1. Hindelcox slots into 3rd place. Ronan Murphy, talking to him earlier in the weekend about getting good starts, and he of course racing hard in Formula Ford, but the Formula First boys getting off the line. And look how close it is as they go down the back straight. Ooh, somebody getting a little bit leery there. But Chris Simon now slotting back to 3rd place in the all yellow and white. It's been an interesting weekend for him. He arrived late, but immediately got pole position, so he wasn't put off by that. And now here comes Reece Hindelcox into the lead as they dive into the right-hander at the end of the back straight. Simon taking 2nd place and trying to go high and wide around the outside, but stays 2nd now as they head down towards the hairpin for the first time.
We just saw Aston Addy there slot down the inside of a couple of guys in the bright orange-yellow car. He's one of our rookies. He's currently leading the Rookie of the Year title, so he's slotted into 3rd, so great effort there from Aston. Again, showing the strength of the rookies in the class.
Yeah, and take a look at Aston Addy. There he is in the number 13, the all-orange. No real mechanical issues for him this weekend, but several others have. But Aston's going about his business, and like you said, all fighting for that important rookie trophy. And here comes Chris Simon as they come across the line, side by side. A little bit of dust and dirt from the previous race. That crash getting some dust flying up. Foster going to the grass for a second. Got to be careful. He's out on the marbles now as well. Everybody jostling for position through turn 1, and Simon holds the lead.
Yeah, right out sideways there for Liam Foster as he went into turn 1. Still got Chris Simon in the lead, and we see the cars using all the width of the road, and they probably move around the track a wee bit more than what we're used to seeing, especially with the Toyota Racing Series. You can achieve your speed quite differently in the Formula First category.
And it's interesting, as you get that long shot down the back straight, you get a sense of the speed here. I mean, they may be little cars and they don't look much. Oh, Aston Addy take it to the grass, but it's an interesting manoeuvre, and it's put him into the lead just. Wow, that was brave.
That was very brave, and we were talking about using the whole width of the track. Unfortunately, he'd maybe just use a little bit more as he's right out sideways coming out of the complex, and he's got the championship leader, Reece Hindelcox. He's going to look down the inside, but he'll think twice about it and tuck in for the run-up over the hill.
6-way battle, if not 7. What a start. Leo Scott at the back of this group. Here's another look.
Yeah, so he's probably pushing it a wee bit there as young Aston, but he'll learn from that.
Oh, no, and a crash. Sorry to interrupt, but that's obviously not going anywhere, and that's a big one, but he's got it going. It's the number 97.
It's Leo Scott, another one of our rookies.
He was playing at the back of that group, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he's away racing, so it looks like we'll stay green flag here at Pukekohe as we look to go 3 wide.
And look at Liam Foster now coming in the 48. Trying to redeem himself from yesterday. Hindelcox comes back at him almost sideways through turn 1, but holds the lead. Back down to 4th now is Simon. Just behind is Amy Smith and Ian Foster.
Yeah, that's a great effort there from them as we watch the replay.
Oh, that's a coming together, and it's with the 19. By the looks of things, I think they touched there. Cian Davey, who had gearbox problems yesterday, the youngest competitor. Now we're starting to get down to the nitty-gritty. 6 to go, and they're still 3 wide into the back straight and into the right-hander. Whoa, Aston Addy holding the line again. He's back into the lead. He likes that move.
Yeah, Aston spitting flames there on the downshift, so that's something we don't quite often see in Formula First, but he'll be learning a lot now racing up the front. He's showing glimpses of speed across the season. Another big backfire out the exhaust. That car, that's very rare.
And Matthew McCutcheon has joined this battle too. He's just at the back of this group. And behind, or just in front of him, Bree Morris in 8th, Ron Carter 7th, and then Ian Foster top 6 for him. So it's a really good race here at the front, being led by Aston Addy, but for how long, we wonder. 5 to go after this. Here's that second group I was just talking about.
Yeah, Ron Carter, one of the old boys, and Cian Davey, who's the youngest competitor in the field. So look at this gaggle of cars up the front. They're going to go into to turn 1, 2 by 2 by 2.
It's amazing. You see them look left and right because they almost have to, because the mirrors are useless, and I don't mean that they're not designed well, but they're so tiny that they have to almost look to see where they are, and they're spreading out so quickly that you have to kind of look from left to right. And a 34 of Ron Carter under pressure now from McCutcheon, and behind him is Bree Morris.
Yeah, as we see this other shot of the lead pack, we just see Aston Addy, who's slotted back into 4th, perhaps being a little bit outsmarted by those more experienced racers. I think he's maybe just a little bit too eager to try and take the lead, as Ian Foster has now crept up on them. They go 3 wide.
Oh, and they touch. Oh, Hendel Cox got a big touch there. Let's hope that's not ruined the alignment of the wheels, because he got a big hit. But that's how close it is.
Yeah, exactly. We're just saying Ian Foster now, the old boy, he's joined into this battle pack. He's loving his outing in the most successful Formula First chassis in New Zealand. Car number 47 there, the chassis that's won 9 championships and over 120 race wins.
We saw that touch just there, but you were telling me back in December that these cars are pretty robust. I mean, they can take a hit like that.
Yeah, they certainly can. You know, we see it with modern Formula cars, the corners, as they refer to, designed to break away in an impact. And that's more of just a safety feature more than anything else. Of course, we've still got an incredibly good safety record on these cars, but they can take a bit of a hit.
Simon takes the lead, but for how long? A 6-way battle, bumping over the bumps here at Pukekohe into turn 1, and back to the lead goes Simon. Chris Simon, the school principal. And I'm sure his school will be watching on and watching his endeavours here. He's been a highlight. We got him in the press conference the other day. He is still, well, he's capable of winning the title, but it's almost out of his reach at the moment.
Yeah, it's a 104-point margin, so with 2 rounds to go, there's still over 400 points on offer, but it's certainly a big ask to close down a 100-point lead.
Aston Addy's doing it again. He's got that same line, and he's done that same thing. And Aston Addy just loves it. I love the fact that he takes the lead right there, and for how long, I wonder. Now the 3 of them behind him will battle side by side. Whoop, somebody making a mistake there. I think that was Smith. And into the hairpin they go, and Aston Addy leads them, but as they come across the strip again, you can see he's looking in the mirrors. He's got Simon behind him. Then Reese Hendel Cox. Let's take a look at, again, how he does this. It's neatly done, isn't it?
Yeah, he just absolutely throws it in there at the complex, and basically the last of the late breakers gets everyone done, and we go 3 wide into that second phase. So what Aston needs to be doing is looking in his mirrors and working out how much of a draft those guys can get from him over the top of the hill.
It'd be a great accolade if he could take the win here, because he's certainly doing the business, and he's taking the lead at the same place every time and holding the lead over the line. But now bouncing over the curbs is not going to do him any good, because those are big curves. I went round in the Supra earlier this weekend and I saw how big they were, and they can catch people out. Good battle here between Matt McCutcheon, the dirt tracker, and Bree Morris.
Yeah,
something went bang then.
Yeah, maybe a touch of wheels there from those front guys.
Maybe. They touch tyres, yeah.
Yeah, so what Aston needs to be doing now, and as we see those front 3 are a bit more experienced than Aston the rookie, they're working together to get the lead. And Aston now needs to sort of start figuring out where he can take advantage of them. Obviously, into the complex, he's got the last of the late braking manoeuvres, but he's leaving himself vulnerable as he goes to the run over the hill with the draft.
Yeah, it's interesting. You quite rightly point out that he's got less experience, but there's always that breakout weekend where you shove in and you say, I'm not going to be that guy that you shove out the way anymore. Watch me, respect me, and keep out of my way. And maybe that's his breakout today.
Yeah, I certainly think it is. This is the best we've seen from Aston all season, as it looks like Reese Hendel Cox has got a little bit of a break over Chris Simon, as we see Aston now going down the inside. Oh, Chris Simon over the top of the hill.
It's so close, over 100 miles an hour, and they're wheel to wheel. But Hendel Cox, as you rightly point out, has got a little bit of a gap now. Behind him, it's a four-way, five-way battle for second place. Fantastic racing. So let's just gather it all together and let you know who's there. Hendel Cox leads, Simon second, Foster third, Ashton Addy drops to fourth, Amy Smith back up to fifth, Ian Foster sixth, Kyan Davies seventh, Ron Carter eighth, Brie Morris and Matthew McCutcheon continue their battle.
Yeah, so we're on the penultimate lap now, lap 7 of 8. And Reece Hendel Cox and I think Chris Simon and Liam Foster are going to start working together to try and catch Reece Hendel Cox, but Ashton Addy, he's looking racy.
Is that a cognitive decision that you're saying, right, we're going to work together, or does it just happen?
It sort of just happens. The guys who are a bit more experienced will know that, right, we're not leading, we need to start closing the gap. Let's draft off each other. We're both in it for the win. Obviously, when it comes to lap 8, there's no holds barred, and it's winner takes all.
Now, Aston's done it again. He comes into the hairpin, and last time out, as Brie Morris goes up the inside, good move on the 34 of Ron Carter. She's got him. The former national kart champion goes through in the number 50. Well done.
So what we can see now, we've got quite a big freight train up the front, and all that squabbling in the lead has actually ended up slowing up a whole bunch of cars, and now we've got Ian Foster, Kyan Davey, even Brie Morris and Ron Carter and Matthew McCutcheon are all starting to play into this battle.
Now, Ashton Addy knows he's going to get overtaken here, but this is the last lap. But Ashton Addy knows, as he's done in the last few laps, that if he can make the same manoeuvre and he's got to position himself in, he sandwiches himself in between the others, and this is really intense stuff. But Addy's in a good position here if he can get up the inside again at the back straight.
Yeah, I tell you what, who's playing the game right now, and that is Reece Hendel Cox. We saw him there. He backed off on the front straight, so he knows where his advantage is. He's going to try size up that draft somewhere between now and over the back straight and try to take the win. But they're incredibly close here as we head down to the complex.
Watch for Ashton Addy in the all-orange number 13. Here he is on the inside, but he's being balked because he's got the 48 of Foster in front of him and he can't get through. They've all blocked the road in front of him, and Chris Simon's there. Addy will go around the outside. Addy's usually leading by now, but look at him, hung out to dry on the outside now, and Simon leading this group. It's almost like a formation lap the way they're driving, but they're flat out here. Now, who's going to break here? Simon tries to get wide, gets in the middle of the road. Hendel Cox is side by side. Foster now on the inside. It's going to be a run to the line. Simon could be in the best position of all because he's right there, but so too is Hendel Cox, and he's there too. They come up the hill together, but has the 48 of Liam Foster got a gap enough to beat them all? I think he has, you know, and here they come. It's going to be close. Foster, Liam Foster, or is it Hendel Cox? It's Hendel Cox who takes the checkered flag and holds off Liam Foster. So it's never good to be leading coming out maybe of the hairpin. And Hendel Cox used the space and used the slipstream to get by, and that was a great win. Confirmation then. Reece Hendel Cox takes the win ahead of Liam Foster. Chris Simon in the end finished third. Amy Smith, a really good fourth place after all the trouble she's had. Ashton Addy, despite the fact that he led for a lot of the race, will finish fifth. He'll be disappointed with that with the rookie. Kyan Davey gets his gearbox sorted. He's sixth. Ian Foster is seventh. Ron Carter eighth. Matthew McCutcheon moving up to ninth position, holding off Brie Morris, who was up to eighth at one point. Liam Nicholson at 11th, and Leo Scott, who had problems early in the race, down in 12th.
I tell you what, that finish was incredible. You could chuck a blanket over the top six there, covered by less than half a second. And if we look at the race-winning margin, it was the exact same margin as we had as yesterday, just 1/100th of a second between Reece Hendel Cox and Liam Foster.
I am a true convert of Formula 4's first. Here are the highlights of the Formula First. A good start from Simon, but a better start from the 48 of Liam Foster. Looks in both his mirrors to see if he's pulled it off. Hendel Cox slotted into third. Ashton Addy was having one of his best days of racing. Amy Smith was back up to speed in the 55. And as they crossed the dust and dirt over the finish line, Simon would lead, but they all four at the front would have a turn at leading the race, including the number one, Hendel Cox, and including this man, Ashton Addy, who used the track and the grass. Used the horse track at one point, but into the lead he went, and he would hold the lead coming out of the hairpin. That was the moment Leo Scott got sideways and out of the race. And look at this, four-way battles. This is New Zealand Formula First, the Haiku Components Formula First Championship at its very finest. Five-way, six-way battles into the corners. How we love it. And that's why we get so many great international New Zealand stars, because this is where they start. The rough and tumble of Formula First. This is where Liam Lawson cut his teeth, and so many others. Van Gisbergen, Scott Dixon, you name it. And as we went down, Aston Addy had another bite at the lead. And he looked good today, I have to say. I think this was a moment for him to step up and join the big boys. But Hendel Cox would have the advantage on the penultimate lap. And then, as they came to the line, it was close. Hendel Cox holding off Simon and Foster and Addy. Addy on the inside again at the back straight, and into the lead he went. Beautiful stuff. Great racecraft, and that's what they're learning more than anything else. The cars are pretty much the same, and they go wheel to wheel all the way through the race. A little bit of grass tracking there. Simon back in the lead for a moment. Look how close this is. This is the last lap, and look how they spread out over the line. Nothing in it. Hendel Cox is looking in every mirror, but he does take the line over Foster, and Simon taking third. So a little bit of a respite for the fans. Confirmation of the result. Reese Hendel Cox takes the Tilemax Tauranga to first place. Liam Foster taking second. Chris Simon for Littleton Street School. We'll have something to talk about at Monday prayers on Monday. Amy Smith, a good result for her. Aston Addy, fifth. Cian Davey in sixth place. Ian Foster, Ron Carter, Matthew McCutcheon, and Bree Morris.